Namaskar. Welcome to this session. We are considering the Aparigraha, the last of the yamas, and Aparigraha, usually rendered as non-hoarding, is not non-hoarding, it is Asangraha vritti. Non-hoarding is an aspect of morality and ethicality. But Asangraha vritti is a vritti, and it has more to do with moderate and temperance moderation and temperance in life, Vairagya in life, and Vairagya of the consciousness, and basically the Adhyatmic ethos. So the point is, Aparigraha is Aparigraha and cannot be translated into any other language. It is Asangraha vritti. And we have seen the definition, Bhogasadhananam asvikaraha. So it's culture of the mind, culture of the consciousness due to Adhyatma, and not just because of decency, etiquettes, the social values. It's not because of the social values. It is subjectivistic value. So, and we saw that it is rejecting the Bhogvishyas for the sake of Vishayadoshadarshanam or on account of Vishayadoshadarshanam. So that has to be discerned. Otherwise, if you recall, I said in a negativistic state of mind, many times we have rejective mind and we don't want anything. And that's a kind of depression, a kind of dejected state of mind. It's a fever. So in fever of the mind also many times we don't have sangraha vritti. We don't want to have parigraha. So therefore it is essential that there is a dosha, Vishayadoshadarshanam. And this was considered in the Vairagya Sutra. So we can now say that it is because of Vairagya that there is Aparigraha, and not because of depression or morose state of mind or negative state of mind. So, as I said during the end of the last session, let's open out Vyasa's commentary. So, Bhashyakara at the outset tells us about dosha darshanam, and he has mentioned the factors on account of which or through which we discern the defects in mundanity, the desires, the passions, the worldliness, etc., etc. So that was Arjana Rakshana Kshaya Sanga Himsa Dosha Darshanat Asvikaranam Aparigraha. This was his opening statement, which, as we saw during the last session, it's quite a profound statement. So all these factors are really worth pondering over. Each of the dosha, Arjana dosha, Rakshana dosha, Kshaya dosha, Sanga dosha, and Himsa dosha. So Aparigraha is a principle of Dharma, Dharma tattva. Parigraha is violation of Dharma, and Aparigraha is adherence to Dharma tattva. So, we materialistic worldly people with little Satsanga and little wisdom about reality start identifying these defects. So, as I said, it is important to develop Aparigraha through Satsanga, Sadhana Sanga, Shastra Sanga. So they will divulge realities, and these realities are such which Vyasa has just now covered in his opening comment. So those who are not in Satsanga may be morally, ethically strong people, morally, ethically faultless people and praiseworthy people. But if they have not done Satsanga, Sadhana Sanga, Shastra Sanga, then they don't get to realize that. And if we consider ourselves, we the mortals, there is a lot of gravity of carnality, cupidity, sensuality. We have enormous gravities of all these aspects whereby we become what we are in our worldliness and in our mundanity. We become Sukhawaadi, Bogavaadi, Sukhawaadi, Aihikavaadi, Jadavaadi. So these are all terms which come in philosophy where they tell us about the view and life of very mundane, materialistic person. So our desires are endless. And today the subject of economics tells the students of economics that our desires are endless. And this is the problem whereby the Parigraha vritti creeps in, or rather the gates are opened out, floodgates are opened out for Parigraha vritti. So the objects that we feel that we should have, our desirous objects, are endless. And they are increasing day by day by day. So our desires go on increasing from our infanthood to childhood to adolescence, and adolescence to youth, and youth to adulthood. Our desires are increasing. And with, of course, the materialistic development, which is signature condition of our times, our era, the desires are absolutely unrestricted and unrestrained. And therefore, to satisfy our desires, we need to collect the means, which is money today. And therefore, most of the time of the awakeful state for man gets engaged in, keeps the person engaged in economic activity. So much so that just one job per day is not sufficient, and people are doing part-time jobs, doing so many side businesses. It is because the money is not sufficient. The money is proving to be deficient to stand the present life with inflated social status, economic status, etc. So it is said that even 24 hours of the day are not sufficient for earning money. We want our every moment of the day to be very, very productive. We don't want to waste the time. And what is wasting the time? When it is reaping money, it is not wasting the time. Otherwise, it is waste of time. Because there is no other Purshartha than earning money these days. No other qualities people are trying to inculcate and imbibe and develop. We are all going after money in our times. And 24 hours are not sufficient for arjanam, dhana arjanam, earning the money which is needed to satisfy our desires, which are really growing in monstrous proportions. The point is, 24 hours of the day are not sufficient for arjanam, dhana arjanam, earning the money. The 24 hours are not sufficient. And under the name of practicality of life and prapancham, that I have prapancha, I have family, etc., we try to justify our hankering for money and money earning means, which is economic activity, money making activity. And in the life of a middle class man, we see that the man has no other time available for anything else, but most of the time is expended in money earning activity. And that has what has become the life today. So even the retirement has not been retirement. People are trying to earn money by some way or the other, even after retirement, because the need for money is really endless. And these days, in our times, even the senior citizens, they retire from their job or maybe from their business, but they keep on earning money by some way, some means or the other, some ways or the other. They will keep earning money. That man doesn't really get tired of earning money. One may become tired of working, but not tired of earning money. And particularly in the middle class society, we see this relentless fight for earning money. Artharjan, and then it is arthavyaya. How the money finds outlet in our times is also unique. Couple of decades back and maybe a century back, money could not be procuring the things, or the things to be procured were easily procurable in the money. But now the things have so increased so much, the Bogavaadi, the consumerism has grown so much that the money is insufficient for satisfying the demands and desires, because they are all increasing at enormous astronomical pace. So the money is also finding way out, and the money just runs out from our wallets at incredible velocity. So money is such a thing that no time is sufficient, no energy is sufficient to be earning it, and the money going out by way of expenditure is also going out of control, and we find that the money has 1,000 legs to go out, but when it comes only on one leg. So this reconciliation between income and expenditure has become a problem for materialistic man of our time. Materialistic people of earlier times did not have this problem that we face today. The commodities have increased so much, the goods have increased so much, the things have increased so much, which are all alluring the human mind. So the money getting spent is also matter of concern for human being. As much as money earning is a concern, money spending, the way the money is spent, is also becomes a matter of concern. And modern man is seen in enormous tug of war in trying to reconcile the income and expenditure. The bhoga vastu has increased in such a rapid pace in our times. The consumerism has increased. The consumer industries are just minting money by alluring people to go after their products. And the expenditure is also a matter of concern, as I said, in our time. This was not the case couple of, say, 5-6 decades ago, or 8, 10, 20 decades ago. It was not so much a problem. The commodity market was not flooding with consumeristic things, consumable things as much as today we have. The bhoga vastu has increased in our time, which was not there 100 years, 200 years back. This also has to be considered. So, in our times, this Sangraha vritti has become a monstrous problem. There is a beautiful subhashita in Sanskrit, that is a couplet of wise man's words. This is called subhashita. I remember one. Taka dharma, taka karma, taka hi paramam padam, yasya grahe taka nasti sa taka taka yate. Wonderful use of words and play of words here. Taka means money. So taka dharma, taka karma. Earning money has become duty, and all activities are for money, by money, through money, assessed by money, considered by money matters. And taka has become paramam padam. Money has become supreme in this world. So for Vedantin, the Brahma is Paramapada. The money has become Paramapada for mundane man, worldly man, practicality, sunk and soaked mankind. So Paramam Padam, Taka has become Paramam Padam. It has become, money has become supreme. So it is no exaggeration to say that superior to God is money. If the God is superior most principle, according to metaphysics, in the material realm, money is greater than God. That's why it is takahi paramam padam. Yasya grahe taka nasti sa taka taka yate. One who doesn't have money, whatever happens to that person because of dearth of money, lack of money, deficiency of money, insufficiency of money, that is taka taka yate. So one not having taka will be in a state called taka taka yate, suffers. So most of the sufferance is because of lack of money in our times. And that's why many people think that money is solution to all problems. And of course, later they realize that, or little wisdom dawns, they realize that that's not true. We need much more than money. Money is not the most essential thing, but anyway, No money is the biggest problem today. In our times, in our world, of course, in our world, we need money more than ever before. That human society needed money. Today, we need the money most because everything is available by money today. And we believe that everything is available by money today for good life. Anyway, therefore, no money is the greatest of problems. No problem is greater than no money problem. So, in Kaliyuga, which is our times, the dark era, Artha and Kama are only two Pursharthas. This is no exaggeration, there is no overstatement in saying that there are only two Pursharthas today, Artha and Kama. The four Pursharthas which our culture tells us, our ethos tells us, is now no longer true. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha are four Pursharthas. But today only Artha and Kama are only two Pursharthas. And about Kama, we have considered during Vairagya Prakaranam, the topic of Vairagya, Samudra iva Kamaha is what Taitriya Brahmana says. A scriptural statement. The Kama, the desire, is like ocean. Its extent is immeasurable, the depth too is immeasurable. And therefore, Artharjanam is only one Purshartha. The whole life is spent after earning money. And that's why we have misery for old people, that if they cannot earn money, they have miserable status, miserable condition in family, in society as well. So as long as you are earning member, you have some value in your family. As long as you are earning member, you have some value in society. If you are non-earning member, you know the miserable condition that you face. And therefore whole life, Artharjanam becomes a Purushartha. You must earn money. Lifelong you must earn money. There is no point in extending life once you don't earn money. This is the condition of our times. And therefore all values of life are set ablaze. We just burn them. All values of life, we set them on fire. And only one Purushartha, only one purpose in life, that is earning money. And then we realize any amount of earning money is insufficient. The more you earn, the more you need. Because that's how the materialism is. It's a monster. Materialism is absolutely a monster. The more you earn the money, the more you go on needing the money. Nothing is sufficient. If you are a poor person, you want to earn money. If you earn money, you want to earn more money. If you earn more money, you want to earn more and more. If you earn more and more, you want to earn more and more and more. If you are earning more and more and more, you want to earn more and more and more and more and more and more. This is pitiless. Sky is the limit for this desire of earning money. 24 hours are not sufficient. So, Artharjanam, Arthavyaya, and if that is not available, then borrowing money, taking advances, borrowing, etc. So the whole life is gone in that. Borrow money, and maybe if you are conscientious, repay. If you are not conscientious, don't bother. So, this is what the life has become in our times, with the consumerism eating away all our values. And therefore, there is again another subhashitam which I recall about money. Aye dukkham, yaye dukkham, diggartham, dviggartham kashta samshayaha. So, aye dukkham, yaye dukkham, dviggartham, dukkha karanam. Aye dukkham, yaye dukkham, dviggartham kashta samshayaha. This is what has been said about money. Money coming is a problem, going is a problem. In both the ways, money is problem prone and problem shooter. So money coming is a problem, money going is a problem. And this is absolutely true if we look at our own life. So the present socio-economic condition, social condition, or present consumerism in the world is telling us how Aparigraha is becoming more and more difficult. Asangraha vritti is becoming more and more challenging and more difficult. The more and more it is also felt to be needed for protecting the values that we nurture in our life, but then it becomes that much difficult. So that's why the saints tell us about our times. They say we all are Bogavaadins. The Bhoga has become Parama Purshartha. So the point is, we can delineate on Vyasa's statement and try to understand our state of affairs in our times, in our 21st century. And that's why the man has endless appetite for money, wealth, riches. Man was never so much hungry, thirsty for money and wealth, but today it has grown enormously. The Sukha sadhanas are increasing. Look at the luxury items which were there 50 years back, and now look at the luxury items which are available, and they are spoiling the mind and psyche of the people of the lower strata, that their desires are growing at a rapid pace, looking at all these various gadgets and instruments and tools and whatnot. And therefore, the dearth of money is creating more and more problem. And therefore, the way to turn our backs is only be more and more in Satsanga, Sadhu Sanga, Sattva Sanga, Satya Sanga, Sadhana Sanga, Shastra Sanga. Without this, we will not be able to imagine values recognized, inculcated, practiced, and preserved. So therefore, the Aparigraha sadhana is becoming more and more important. In one of the defects which Vyasa mentioned, maybe one is not convinced, is himsa dosha. One sees, where is the himsa? In my endless appetite for making money, making money, spending money. Where is the himsa? But Vyasa told us about himsa dosham apart from arjana dosha, rakshana dosha, kshaya dosha, sanga dosha. He also mentioned himsa dosha. Now, it is only that philosophy will tell us how there is himsa in it. Because we are all in Bhoga Sadhana today. Bogavaadi is the society. And the Bogavada is the philosophy that we practice today in materialism. And little insight will tell us, and you should recall in the Sadhana Pada 15th Sutra, where Parinamatapa Samskara Dukkhaihi Gunavritti Virodacha Dukkham Eva Sarvam Vivekinaha was a wonderful piece of sutra that came our way. And there Vyasa made a statement which has scriptural support, backing. Nanupahatya bhutani upabhogaha sambhavati iti himsa kruto asti sharira karmashayaha. Nanupahatya bhutani upabhogaha sambhavati. It is not possible that the bhoga will take place without some hatya, some himsa. So, this consumerism, the himsa is so attached to it that you cannot separate it. No bhoga will take place without himsa committed in some form or the other. So all bhogas are prone with the defect of himsa. Without himsa, there is no bhoga at all, no sukharjanam, no sukham will come unless you have hurt someone, unless you have deprived someone. There has to be deprivation, you have to hurt someone for your happiness, or by your happiness, somebody will be hurt, or you will have to hurt someone and have your happiness. So, little insight will tell us. See, if you decide that I am going to satisfy all my desires, unless you bulldoze the desires of others, you can't really satisfy your desires. So little insight will tell us about this, that unless you deprive someone, you cannot be really consuming and satisfying your desire. So in your desire satisfaction, there is always someone who is deprived. So unless you bulldoze the desires of someone else, you cannot be gratifying your desires. If you want to amass wealth with you, you have to create somewhere hollow. Unless you somewhere create hollow, you can't have a hill of wealth in your house. So you dig somewhere and then collect it and stack it up in your house, and therefore you create a mountain of wealth in your house by creating a ditch somewhere, digging a hole somewhere. Unless you create hole, you can't pile up. So therefore, in Parigraha vritti, there is himsa. In Sangraha vritti, there is himsa. So those who are the Sangraha vritti, they are compared to be a python which swallows all that comes in its vicinity. And for a Sharira Dharana, for a materialistic person, the desires are endless. Merely to preserve this body, it's greater problem for a materialistic person. for a hedonist. It becomes a greater problem to just preserve oneself bodily. And when you are even doing just preserving your body, say by bare minimum things, yet there is himsa. To sustain your body, you breathe. When you breathe, you kill so many microscopic lives. You will have to have jalapana, annapana. You will have to eat food. You will have to consume water. So when you consume water and when you eat food, countless microscopic lives, they are consumed. Jivo jivasya jivanam. This principle we have understood while studying the Yoga Sutra so far, Yoga philosophy so far. So, even to be with bare minimum needs, yet there is a himsa. You might be an ascetic, but you will eat fruits. You might be an ascetic of high order. You will drink water and you will breathe. And you cannot rule out any himsa in mere act of breathing and then your basic subsistence by consuming whatever minimum water needed, minimum food needed. Himsa cannot be avoided. So we have seen this while we were dealing with the himsa topic, Vairagya topic, and also himsa topic in yamas. Let me repeat that verse which I perhaps quoted from Mahabharata Adi Parva, the first part of Mahabharata, 85th chapter and 12th verse. And this also comes in Srimad Vishnu Puranam. Na jatu kamaha kamanam upabhogena shamyati havisha krishnavat vaiva bhuja eva abhivardate. The Kaama Purti only takes place by upabhoga, by consumption, by gratification, and satisfying that desire is nothing but adding fuel to the fire of desire which is in our vasanas, vasana kosha, and therefore the fire will blaze through. By consuming the desire, gratifying the desire, we are nothing but putting fuel to our passion fire. So you can't say that fire will extinguish by adding fuel to it. And therefore the Vairagya topic and the Ahimsa topic earlier told us about this. So Parigraha is fraught with all this. And therefore Parigraha vritti is to be overcome through yamas, yama sadhana. Because Parigraha will have lobha. You can't say that there is no lobha bacteria, there is no moha bacteria, there is no kama bacteria. So there are a lot of these bacteria are there in Parigraha. And all these really eclipse the human buddhi. And one becomes mohandha, blind by delusion, blind by infatuation. The viveka is turned into ash. Even if you have whatever, it is reduced to ash. And therefore, the moham would engulf the mindset. I recall another beautiful passage which comes in Mahabharata, very poetic. And it says in Vanaparva, chapter 76 and 5th verse. So Mahabharata 2.76.5 Asambhave hevamayasya janto tathapi ramo lulubhe mrugaya prayaha samasanna parabhavanam diyo viparyastara bhavati. So this is taking that incidents from Srimad Ramayanam. The whole sorrow of Ramayana got evoked like a volcano, erupted like a volcano, with one incidence where Sita Mai, Mother Sita, tells Rama, I want that golden deer and I want to stitch an outfit from that golden deer skin. So, Hema Mayasya Janto, you cannot get an animal which is made up of gold. And then Rama went after it. And then what happened? Sita was abducted, and the whole Ramayana took place once Sita was abducted. So it is interesting to note, Ramayana did not commence with Kaikeyi ordering Sri Rama to go into exile for 14 good years, but Ramayana really commenced with the desire of Sita to have that golden deer, killed. And with that, the whole Ramayana took place. So the anartham of the nature of Ramayana would not have taken place without the desire. So with the Tyaga Vritti, the three of them went into forest. The Tyaga Vritti sent Rama, Sita and Lakshmana to forest in exile, but one desire bubbled up and the whole untoward incidents of Ramayana took place. So this is how the lobha is, the greed is, the desire is. Nothing is as fatal as desire. So also therefore Vanaparva in Mahabharata says in 2.207.58 Papanam Viddha Adhishthanam Lobhameva Dvijottamaha. No, nothing is as strong as lobham, the greed, the desire, for erupting the papa vasana. And therefore, in the same Mahabharata, you get a word of wisdom in Vanaparva 2.313.78. Lobham hitva sukhi bhavet. If you want to become happy, lobham hitva, give up lobham, give up greed, give up desire. That is key to happiness. So this is the wise word that comes from Mahabharata. Key to happiness is to become desireless. Desirelessness is key to happiness. In the same Mahabharata, the great uncle Vidura, who was brother to Dhritarashtra, gives advice to elder brother Dhritarashtra. Nanyatra vidyat tapasor nanyendriya nigrahat nanyatra lobha samtyagat shanti pashyami he anagha. Udyoga Parva 36.49. That lobham is fraught with a lot of sinning potential. And unless lobham is given up, greed is given up, desire is given up, there is no peace. So, that's how the Aparigraha vritti has a lot of philosophy behind it. I recall a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam. It says, if you have Sangraha vritti, and if you stack up and store the things, the Bhogavastu, because of your desire, because of lobha, if you go on making stock of those things and stacking up all those Vishayas, you are not short of being a thief, a burglar. It is really, you might say you have bought from your own money, but yet you are a burglar. And that is a punishable act according to Srimad Bhagavatam. It is dandaniya to be hoarding beyond one's needs. And even today's in social political scenario, it has become sin. It is an offense. If you store the things beyond a limit, hoarding, if you do the hoarding, then it is really punishable. Even with the present law books. And Bhagavatam mentions this in 7.14.8. And therefore he says, in defining Aparigraha vritti, Yavad briyate jataram tavat swatvam hi dehinam. So this comes in Avadhuta Upakhyana of Srimad Bhagavatam 7.14.7. Parigrohi dukkhaya yat priyam nunam anantam sukhamapnoti tad vidvan yastva kinchana. So Dattatreya advises in Srimad Bhagavatam, whatever is most loving, priyatama vastu, you go on stacking up. And that is the cause of sorrow. You think actually that is going to give you happiness, ensure your happiness, because you are maintaining a stock of those your loved things. But that is the cause of dukkha. So therefore, a wise man, a jnani, he remains in akinchan vritti. He doesn't store things. Kaupina vritti. He just would live with a loin's cloth and doesn't go on collecting these essentials, luxury needs, comforts, etc., etc. So, the point is, Parigraha vritti is quite baneful if you are imbibing spiritual values. For materialistic man, they don't see any vice. But if you are in spiritual path, you will certainly be dreaded of Parigraha vritti. So, in this Aparigraha kind of yama, we also learn something about Vairagya. We learn value and worth of Vairagya. And therefore, it is worth pursuing this Aparigraha vritti that will tell us much about the values which we intend to inculcate. Anyway, enough for time being. Let us proceed on Aparigraha in our next session. Namaskar all of you.